Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Welcome to episode 55 of the Film Blurs. I am Jeff Stewart, aka Uncle Jeffrey, aka J. Otis Dynamite, aka Revengeman Button, aka He Who Remains, aka Petty Ruxpin, aka Jobu Tupaki, aka this motherfucker, aka To Be Determined. And I'm joined here, as always, with...
I'm Brandon Norwood, a.k.a. Hero Protagonist, a.k.a. the true father of Joe's kids, a.k.a. Papi Chulo. Guess what Papi Chulo's doing now?
What is Papi Chulo doing now?
He's giving out ecstasy enemas.
That seems like a waste of ecstasy.
Yo, listen, he's stopping sticking it in the butt, and now he's just giving you an enema.
Like, but is he putting it in the enema, like the liquid, or is it just like, he's just like...
Nah, it's in the liquid.
Oh, it's in the liquid.
It's
okay,
in the liquid,
all right,
yeah,
sure.
so,
all right.
You know, so... AKA the Glizzy King. What do you do when you see a grown man eating a glizzy? Hey, yo! AKA Mr. Krusty. AKA the Little Protector. AKA my biggest pet peeve is sports. Why? Because I don't like seeing grown men sweat on each other. AKA I want a Subaru Outback with mad strippers in the back so they could give shape-ups. You could be fresh or getting a lap dance. A.K.A. Rough McGruff. A.K.A. These Nuts. A.K.A. B-Wood, the Magnificent.
I think we got that down to 15 minutes. I think we got that a flat 15 minutes. I think we're doing good for ourselves.
Yeah. Well, let's jump right in.
All
right. Fucking David. You know, I've been talking about this dude positively, David Zaslav, and now that's a mistake.
Right. That was
a huge
big,
mistake.
Huge.
Yeah. Never trust a businessman.
Right. I mean, it's a slaughter at this point. It's a total fucking mess.
So basically, David Zaslav has completely shelved Batgirl, and Batgirl's done. Like, all they had to do was some effect shit. And ever since they canned this movie, behind the scenes shit's been leaking online. I'm just like, y'all spent $90 million. The behind the scenes shit looks crazy because
right.
Firefly was the villain. And he has these flamethrowers on his suit. And you see him on top of a fire truck just...
Now, who was playing Firefly?
Brendan Fraser.
Oh, shit.
And
all right.
they actually had Leslie Grace doing backflips off of cop cars and, like, barrel rolls across a fucking barricade. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing, man?
And like, all right, so... They gave several different reasons why they fucking took this thing off, put it on the shelf. One was that it tracked so badly that they knew they were going to lose money.
Which is bullshit.
Because
they now it's come out that movie tested just as well as Black Adam.
Right, and they're going full tilt with Black Adam.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere with a fucking Black Adam trailer.
Yeah.
And then now they're saying it was for tax purposes, and they're only going to be saving $20 million by shelving this movie. Right. You know?
Right. And my thing is, too, it's just like, this is the first Batgirl movie, and it not only the first one, but you have an Afro-Latina.
Right.
That's not good. J.K. Simmons is in it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. The optics are horrible for WB.
Right.
Because, all right, so you're still going forward with the Flash movie with the most problematic white person I've ever met in my whole entire life. Ezra Miller, right? You're still going full tilt with that.
He just caught a felony charge.
Right. We should just have Ezra watch.
Right.
You know, like every like a warning. Ezra Miller's coming to your town. Hide your bitches.
Hide yourself.
Hide yourself. Don't sing karaoke. Don't smile.
You know?
No joy. He's like the fucking Grinch.
It's like jean jacket. You don't look at it.
All right. And so they shelved Batgirl, and so that means the Supergirl movie that they were going to do.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know how they're going to handle that because Supergirl's being introduced in The Flash, and they're high on The Flash. Like, even though they said, like, Ezra's not going to promote it, and that's it for him after The Flash.
Right.
Everybody who's seen it at that studio loves the movie.
Yeah. So, like...
Yeah.
So, like, it's seeming like... I don't want to put this out there into the universe, but it seems to me that the toxic masculinity, the toxic fan base that created the Snyder Cut, that created BVS and all that shit, is claiming victims when it comes to, well,
it's hard, man, because I went on Twitter, and a lot of those folks who were for the Snyder Cut, they're actually rallying around this shit just because,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I get it.
It's surprising.
I get it, because it is, I guess it is part of the universe if they're using J.K. Simmons, because he is Commissioner Gordon from the Snyder Cut and from Justice League.
Right, but I'm mad that, like, Michael Keaton's Batman, right, they're hyping him up to be in this Flash movie, and he was in the Batgirl movie.
Yeah.
And now it's, what are you gonna do with that?
Well, here's another interesting thing about that. He was supposed to be an Aquaman.
Oh,
and
really?
they tested Aquaman, and people were legit confused. They're like, why is Michael Keaton as Batman in this movie? So they completely nixed it and reshot it with Ben Affleck.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, well. Yeah.
So, and that's the problem, is Flash was supposed to come out first.
Right,
But,
right.
since that keeps getting delayed because it has such extensive effects work.
Well, it's because Marvel's taking up all the studio time.
Yeah,
all the
and not
VFX.
paying these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They're Aquaman's coming out the gate first.
Okay.
Yeah, man, and Zavloff just came out and said, like, we have a 10-year plan for DC,
No,
and
you
I'm
don't.
like,
No, you don't.
every person has been saying that since Man of Steel.
Right.
Every person.
Right. Here's your 10-year plan for this universe. Give us another Man of Steel movie. How about that? Like, is that anywhere in your fucking 10-year plan?
It's amazing to me that Man of Steel and BVS have done so much damage that here we are, goddamn near 10 years later, and they're still holding their dicks in their hands. Like, yo, two people fucked this shit up, Snyder and Kevin Tushihara, and they just never recovered from this shit.
Right. I mean, and the Flash was supposed to do for the DC universe what Far From Home. No, what was it? I keep on.
No Way Home.
No Way Home did for the the Marvel universe, or at least with the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do now. I don't know what's going to happen. It's
because the question is, do they reach into the multiverse and pull a new version of Barry, or do they fucking just go straight to Wally, or do they go back and use Jay? Because you got options on a Flash protagonist. It's just, it sucks that you got to put out a $200 million movie with somebody who's in the news every fucking day.
Every fucking day.
You know?
I sent you that article the other day. Like, it's like it just hits my news feed. It's like, Ezra Miller has where's this warrant out for now? Oregon?
I don't know, man. It's like he's going around the world, just like
he's the
or
Joker.
they, excuse me.
They don't misgender him.
Yeah.
Or them. Sorry. They are the Joker.
Yeah.
They're just going around, just committing fucking crimes,
Right.
like silly ass, dumbass crimes, like slapping people in karaoke.
And then, like we said, there's his mom's pressing charges and trying to get a warrant out just because
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it was the Native American girl.
Oh, okay,
that,
all right.
He's trying
I thought his mother,
because he's like bubbling his own Nexium now. Like, so yeah, that's David Zavloff. David Zavloff, he was a big Trump supporter because he said like he liked what he was doing as a business person for the country. And then as soon as this merger happened, he hired all these old white guys in positions of power.
Right, which,
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta help your friends out. They're starving out there in the street, man. Like this.
You can't.
Right, but here's the thing with WB, what they're pulling. This is another indication that they do not respect the artists or the craft of filmmaking. All right, first it was the HBO Go shit or HBO Max shit, right? You know, and that
Project Popcorn, as it's known, where they're like, all right, day and date for all their movies last year.
That was a fucking slap in the face,
Right.
right? And especially because they didn't really talk to anybody and get anybody's feedback. There was like, yeah, see, we're gonna do this, see, yeah. And now we have this whole entire fucking let's kill all the brown people in our superhero universe.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen post Flash, because that's all we're up to now is Flash. We got Black Adam on the way, Shazam.
Don't laugh at Shazam.
That movie's that is not fair.
Look, I liked Shazam, but look,
That's not fair.
right. You put
See, now you laughing because you know this shit is about to get slaughtered.
right. So they're putting Shazam again. Like we've said this before. They're putting Shazam against Avatar 2.
And they just went through this last year.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Like it feels like WB is taking their business plan from the plot of the producers, and it's just like, yeah, how do we tank all of our projects the most spectacular way ever? Let's put a problematic star in our franchise superhero movie. Check. Let's get rid of anything that would connect with either Latinos or females. Check. Let's piss off all of our A-list directors. Check. Let's not do a sequel. Let's not continue doing a sequel to Dune until we see how it pans out.
So, I mean, and not for nothing, the dudes who directed Batgirl,
I don't
it's
like.
Bile and Adil, I think it is.
I cannot pronounce. I don't want to butcher
Those
names.
dudes delivered one of the biggest movies of 2020 right before shutdown with Bad Boys for Life, and people love that movie.
Right.
I love that movie. It's my favorite Bad Boys out of the trilogy.
And they killed it with Miss Marvel.
Yeah, Miss Marvel. So it's not like they're chumps. Like these guys are proven directors.
And I don't think that the Batgirl movie tracked nearly as bad as they're saying it is.
No, if it did as well as Black Adam, that means it played well.
Right. Because of Black Adam.
Yeah.
It's fucking this movie with no real stars did track as well as a movie starring the fucking Rock.
And here's my thing too: is David Zaslav. The only thing he said about it is on the earnings call, because they had an earnings call later that week, and they said straight up, "We will not put out a movie if we don't believe in it," and that's all he said about it. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay.
And I'm like, yo, listen, you have fucking Sony doing all these D-list Spider-Man characters, and they clearly don't give a fuck because the quality of them are fucking shit. Like, come on, they put out Morbius twice. You know what I'm saying?
It's Morbin time.
Yeah, they fell for that shit. So there's no way. I mean, we get shitty superhero movies every fucking month. So who cares?
Fucking Bad Bunny is getting his own superhero movie.
El Muerto.
El Muerto. From Sony. And you can't put a Batgirl movie out?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, cool.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying is bullshit. So, it's going to be rough. I mean, I don't think Nolan's going back.
Oh, no, why would he?
Yeah.
Like, my feelings on Tenet aside, they fucked that all up.
Yeah, because now it's come out, and that wasn't even Nolan pushing for the release. That was Jason Kilvar.
All right, because I was given mad hate.
Oh yeah, me too.
Because
everybody because he was front and center saying like, "Yo, we got to stand with theaters," and now come to find out that was him showing face.
Oh,
because Jason Kilvar said you could either get your Nolan release or we're putting it to HBO Max, and I was just like, oh well, yeah, right. That makes sense why he did what he did.
All right, fair.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so
WB.
Yeah, fucking
Warner Brother.
God damn. apparently now everybody in the industry, all their top talent agencies like CCA and all those types, like
Right.
every agent's like, they've been calling all their people saying like, yo, do we have a project set up at Warner's? And if they do, they're like, okay,
Be careful.
yeah, let's be careful because
Right.
now we don't know if this is going to get released or not.
Don't know
and
if
they
it-
don't want to put their talent through that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because eventually, and this is going to bite them in the ass because the SAG and the DGA could get involved and press this to get it
I mean,
released.
the same thing happened with like Fox a couple of years ago, where they kept on doing some shady shit, right? Not fucking respecting the talent, and no one wants to work with Fox anymore.
Yeah.
Like they're finally getting back, but like that damage control is a motherfucker.
Yeah, man, because think about it. If I'm an agent and I'm representing my client, let's say my client is Timothy Chalamet, and he does a whole ass, like a Fast and Furious movie, right?
Mhm.
And then you're going to tell me after it's been shot and all that shit, oh, we're not going to put it out? Bro, that's money coming out of everybody's pocket.
Right.
Like they get upfronts, but then there's also back end deals and shit like that.
Right. Points on the package.
Yeah, man. Like no. On top of the hard work,
Right,
You know, because you want to see your client reach
Right.
new levels,
Right. And here's the thing: WB put out Space Jam 2.
Oh yeah,
Right? They fucking caped for that hard.
Yeah.
Space Jam 2. But you won't put out a Batgirl movie? There's no way that a Batgirl movie was worse than Space Jam 2. No way.
Yeah.
There's no way that a snuff film could be worse than Space Jam 2.
Like I said, we should get shitty comic book movies now almost every month. You know what I mean?
At all.
So like at this point, I'm like, yo, fucking put it out, man. And if it sucks, it's like, oh well, it's another fucking shitty DC movie. Who
Right.
cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
So that's all I gotta say about that. The only other news we got is yesterday they announced the new release date for Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Oh, I didn't even know it was greenlit.
Yeah,
All
they
right.
greenlit it like that opening weekend.
I mean, I fucked with it. Yeah, it was good.
Look, I like the first two, right?
Right.
First one came out in February, right before the end of the world.
Right.
Second one came out this past April. There's reasons why those movies did well.
Right.
They're family movies when ain't shit going on. Why the fuck are you gonna put this third movie out at Christmas? Are we not learning our lessons where like only one or two movies can thrive during Christmas? And no offense, like Sonic ain't there yet. Like they're good movies for like, dead season.
Right. Unless they put ugly Sonic in 3. Can we have an ugly Sonic movie now?
Yo, because some fucking big franchise movie's gonna drop during that around that time, and it's just like y'all motherfuckers need to stop putting these movies out all at Christmas.
I mean, that's why we're here and they're there, and that's why we're doing this podcast, just to tell them that they don't know shit.
Yeah,
fucking just it's dumb. It's a dumb fucking move. That is Sonic 3 is a August release
or
September.
March. Put it back in March, April.
Right.
Like that's where you're gonna thrive. And it's not like those are dead months. Obviously, y'all made fucking hand over fist on those movies.
Right. But like Christmas time, you're not
gonna. Yeah, man. Yeah. Because you get the family together. The family's gonna want to see something they all want to see, not where all right, let me take my fucking 5-year-old to see the fucking blue hedgehog go fast again.
And eat what does he eat? Donuts.
He
eats
chili
cheese
glizzies. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He made them shits rain from the sky at the end of the last one. That shit was funny. Shit fell right in Knuckles' face.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Idris Elba's. I could picture that now. I'm just picturing Idris Elba eating glizzies raining from the sky. Oh shit! Right. Well,
nah, that's it for news.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Man, so,
I mean, it's. Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
fuck it.
what have you watched lately, Jeff?
What are you watching?
Let me start off with Paper Girls on Amazon Prime.
Oh man, I love those comics.
Right, I was a big fan of the fucking comics, like
Yeah.
Paper Girls. because it had fucking time travel. It had that 80s, vibe to it. It had giant robots and everything. Everything I fucking wanted out of a comic book, right?
Yeah.
And now you have this Amazon Prime show, which it feels fucking cheap. It's only 8 episodes, and it's scattershot at best, right? Like, when it's good, it's okay. And when it's bad, it's just fucking horrible.
So what you're telling me is pray they don't touch Saga.
Oh, yeah. They don't have the money to do Saga.
I just don't want anybody to do Saga.
I don't want anybody to do Saga. Anybody but me to do Saga or Sex Criminals, right? Because Sex Criminals you can only get away with on HBO, like, honestly. And Saga, you would need a whole entire fucking network just for that comic book.
Damn it. Well, that's why I haven't watched Sandman, because I'm just like, it's so esoteric and philosophical.
Right. So, Paper Girls, long story short, it's a time travel show that revolves around 4 paper girls who get caught in this time loop adventure type shit, and they meet up with their future selves, their past selves, and it just I loved the comic and I saw the potential for this show, right? Mm-hmm. But it just feels like they didn't spend any money on it, right? The acting, like at sometimes it's really, really good, and then other times it's like, oh, I can see that the directors are coming from TV.
Yeah, right.
And like I don't have a problem with TV feeling like TV, but this feels like Canadian melodrama, like the first days of the CW type acting, right? The color palette's all over the place, right? It's ugly. It's an ugly fucking show. Like
that's a shame because the comic looks cool.
The comic looks cool, but and I think they tried to translate that, and it just looks fucking
cheap.
It looks cheap, and it looks like okay, they put a dumb color grade on it, right? Let's turn up the oranges and shit like that.
See, that was my problem with Defenders because they started doing that shit in Defenders to give each of them their own color, and it came across just cheesy.
Right. And the some of the concepts that they introduce are pretty cool. Like, what if, like, your younger self came out of, like, discovered that they were gay by seeing your older self, right? That's an interesting concept.
Right.
It just didn't hit the way it was supposed to, right? They're always running away from each other. Like, all the girls, they're just... whenever there's a problem, it's like, I'm just gonna run away and just be out there, and I just need to be alone with my thoughts. It's like, that's dumb because you're in a fucking time loop. You're being hunted by like bootleg stormtroopers. Running away and going at it on your own is not the fucking move. It's like it's they are anti like they're making moves that just don't make any kind of fucking logical sense. And I started actually feeling bad for the older versions of the girls when they had to interact with the younger versions, right? Because the younger versions were so disappointed in the adult versions, right? And I almost felt like I felt really horrible. It's like, is this what I would be like if I met my younger self? Would they be an asshole too? I was like, yes, I know the dreams that you had as a child. I didn't live up to your expectations, right? You don't have to make me feel bad about that.
Yeah.
And so I want it to be better. I wanted, because I love the comic book so fucking much. And for some reason, like, even though I love Jason Mantzoukas, he's the big bad throughout this, and he just does not give off a sense of menace.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, it's just, and I get the character of like the Allfather or whatever his fucking character's name is. I get how he's supposed to be, non-threatening.
Right.
But there still has to be a little bit of menace beneath the surface.
Right.
Like when you talk to a really charming serial killer. You know?
Yeah, you want Ted Bundy.
Right, you want Ted Bundy, right? Like,
right.
there's still something dangerous about this dude.
Right.
Even though he's trying to be my friend. You know? I didn't get any of that. I learned about this right before pandemic. So they were shooting it right before pandemic. So everything, so when they come to current times, it's 2019. Right? And they made no, efforts to try to kind of cover that up, which is whatever. It's produced by Brad Pitt. Like he's listed as an executive producer on it.
Plan B? Did it come out through?
I don't know if it came out through Plan B, but it doesn't seem. It seemed like they cared, but not enough. Yeah?
That sucks.
Yeah. So that's fucking Paper Girls. Going on, I decided to catch up on City on a Hill. Because I know two people who are actually on the show, and everyone keeps on talking about you should watch City on the Hill. You really like it, and I fucking binge watched the shit out of that show. It's on Showtime, and it's about the relationship between a district attorney and a crooked FBI agent in the early '90s, and set in Boston. And it's racist as shit, and I kind of fucking love it, right? The first scene you see with Kevin Bacon, he drops nigga with the hard R, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Tell him joke. It's like, okay, so this is Boston. This is some Boston shit. Let me strap in, right? And the Jackie Rohr is the character played by Kevin Bacon, and I don't know why we don't have more of a conversation on him being one of the great anti-heroes.
The character?
The character.
Okay.
Not Kevin Bacon. I mean,
Kevin
Kevin Bacon's the man.
He's been playing villains for a minute.
Right. Like, my best friend John, his mother still can't watch anything with Kevin Bacon in it without her saying, that's the bad man who hurt those boys in Sleepers. And
I'd never seen Sleepers.
Oh, you never saw Sleepers? Ooh.
I know what it's about. So
yeah,
damn, I wish I didn't know that.
Yeah, she can't. It's 25 years since Sleepers.
Yeah.
She can't watch a Kevin Bacon film because of his performance in that. So his character Jackie Rohr is I think he's one of in the pantheon of dudes you shouldn't like, but you end up loving. He's up there with a Tony Soprano.
Right.
He's up there with a Walter White. And so we're in the middle of we're 3 episodes into season 3, and I'm fucking loving this show. All right. So if you have a chance, watch City on a Hill on Showtime. It's fucking great. Yeah. Moving on from that, I think we should just jump right into talking about The Rehearsal.
All right. Well, episode 3, man. Where do we even start with episode 3? Do you want to start with the other dude rehearsing, or fucking continue with Angela?
All right, let's go into Angela. And the more and more we watch this, the more and more you find out about Angela. And
it's clear why she's a 44-year-old single virgin.
Right. I don't know if she's a virgin though, because when you get into her backstory, it's like, oh yeah, I was doing cocaine.
Save that for
right.
So her and Nathan are co-parenting this kid, and it's literally just Nathan doing all the work. She wants a garden, doesn't want to plant the garden,
right.
So it's Nathan planting it and basically doing everything
because she's working on her Etsy store.
Yes,
where she sells, fucking oils and bath bombs and shit like that.
She's there for playtime, not there for feeding or actually reading or doing homework.
Right. And so the episode starts off, we've got this, with Nathan and the little boy dressing up for
Oh, Halloween.
right?
Yeah.
And like they pull out a Batgirl costume. Was like, Mom, join in, and she's like, No, I'm not going to do that. And Nathan goes, But what? Why not? He tells the kid to go over here, like play. I'm going to talk to Mommy about that. And she goes, Well, Halloween's a celebration of Satanists. It's the most powerful Satan worshiping night of the year. That's where they sacrifice all the children.
and Nathan's like, what? And she's like, yeah, Bohemian Grove. And I was just like, what? And I googled Bohemian Grove.
That's a bunch of rich dudes just trying to get their dicks sucked.
Yeah,
That's all
literally it's literally like Illuminati for rich dudes.
Right. Yeah. But then she's like, Nathan goes, well, I haven't heard anything about this. It's like, well, you got to Google it.
Yo,
right?
Yeah, that comes later in the episode where she's like, where he said that. He's like, I Googled it. It didn't come up. She's like, did you use Halloween satanic holiday? That's where it'll pop up. And he's just like, okay. And as she said it, I typed it into my phone.
Right.
Google searched it. Only one article came up, and it was like some conspiracy theory shit.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to get off a tangent right here. Motherfuckers think Google is an answer engine. It's not. It's a search engine. So if you type in Satanists Halloween, you're not getting an answer from a respectable source. You're getting answers from the 1,000 other fucking dumb assholes who have a website.
Yeah, man.
Or who post on Reddit.
Yeah, man, because I Googled it, and I was just like, oh okay, so this is clearly the rantings of a woman who's just...
Fake fucking news, man. That's fake fucking... But she was so serious. She was mad at him, too, because he didn't know.
Ooh, well, and we'll get into it again about this satanic shit. But yeah, it's... As my brother called her, because I watched this twice. I watch it... Every episode, I watch it as it airs.
Right.
And then I watch it again with my brother, because my brother he's clearly disturbed by this. And I understand. Like, the whole show's disturbing on many different levels.
It's as if Charlie Kaufman decided to do a reality show.
Yeah. So, my brother straight up called Angela a mouth breather. I'm like, what the fuck's a mouth breather? He's like, it's a person that literally just breathes, just does nothing.
Yeah.
And it's true. I was just like, he pointed out, he's like, I don't think Angela knows what she wants because she has everything she's getting in this rehearsal, and she's just literally letting Nathan taking care of everything.
Right. Like the whole entire, like from the episode 2, where she wanted to go out on a date, but she didn't arrange.
That shit was insane. Where she's like, I need a week's notice. And I was like, the fuck?
Right. You're supposed to be a parent. You have to think about who's going to look after your child.
A week's notice? What? You know how parents pull fucking babysitters out of their ass all the time?
Right.
Like, hey, can you come right now?
Yeah.
I'll give you an extra $20.
Like, I popped this Viagra. I gotta go. I'll give you extra $20. Come here.
That's what? Like a whole week's notice. I'm like, bitch, you haven't been around kids then.
Right.
Because there's going to be some emergencies, and there's going to be some emergencies where that kid's going to be in serious trouble.
Yeah. So, but that's a callback to the episode 2, but we just want to reference what her mindset is.
Yeah.
So let's go on with the fucking episode.
Let's move into, I don't even know what the dude's name is.
I fucking call him Chucky. He looked like a fucking Chucky.
So they introduced this guy, and he has on necklaces. I can't remember what the one was.
Right. So one necklace was his grandfather's ashes, right? Which was very heartfelt and humbling. It was like, okay, that's neat. That's respectful. That's cool.
The other one was the fucking Punisher symbol.
Right.
And Nathan straight up asked, he's like, is that the Punisher symbol? He's like, yeah. He's like, why are you wearing that? He's like, because the Punisher takes justice into his own hands.
Like he stands up and he fights crime. And it's like, but that's not what the Punisher is. No, that's not what you have a fundamental misunderstanding of what the Punisher is.
I mean,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people do, but like just having them say it out loud.
Right. he meets up with his rehearsal brother because it's an actor playing his brother, and he sits there and he's talking to his brother, and he just casually drops the word like 3 or 4 times in a sentence, Jews.
No, you have to set it up, man, because the way he says it, it is peak racist.
Yes, it's just casually dropped as a slur.
So the whole entire purpose of this rehearsal is that the grandfather died, and the younger brother is in charge of the estate, and so the younger brother is like, I'm not going to give you this money because you keep dating gold diggers.
Right, and Grandpa said
don't give him money if he's going to spend it on gold diggers, which I don't even like saying gold digger because it's a little too close to, Yeah. But anyway, and so they're sitting down, and Chucky, for lack of, I don't know what his fucking real name is, Chucky's like, look, she's not a gold digger. If anything, she's like a Jew with money. And I was like, oh.
And he says it like three more
times.
times.
Right.
And then like each time you just see Nathan's face just like, yo, what the fuck?
Because like Nathan is there with his laptop, right? And he just looks and is like,
And then finally he goes over to Chucky and he's just like, can you probably not say that? And he's like, oh, well, this is how me and my brother talk. He's like, really? And he's like, yeah.
It's like, well, it's part of if this is the way you,
right.
this is the way your brother.
Right.
So he's.
I mean, he's even trying to help him out there. Like, yo, listen.
It's like, you should not be using Jew in that context.
You're on TV, dog. Like, he knows he's on the TV
right? You've got literally 18 cameras pointing at you. And that's what I don't get about this show, right? That is what I don't get. Like, you see the fucking cameras, right?
Man.
It's not like some Big Brother shit where it's hidden in the walls and stuff like that. You see the Aries pointing at you.
Oh, my God.
Right? And then it becomes this whole entire other thing where it's a story within they do a rehearsal within a rehearsal.
Nathan's straight fucking with people now.
Right. He did a rehearsal within the rehearsal, right?
Like, this is some shit where it gets ethically questionable, where I'm like, yo, Nathan's an evil genius.
Right? Like, so he...
Lex Luthor shit.
Where he makes he makes Chucky wipe the old man's ass.
Yeah.
Right?
So to set this up, the actor brother has his real grandfather.
Well, it has his actor grandfather.
Right. Help him dig up gold.
Because he found a treasure map.
He's gonna say the actor grandfather is gonna give some to Chucky. Meanwhile, Chucky doesn't realize this is all part of the rehearsal. He thinks this is real,
right?
Because Nathan set him up to think this is real,
right? Because like Nathan wants an emotional connection
to the rehearsal, because Core didn't have one,
right? So it's like a fucking he incepted him. Right?
Yeah, it's an inception.
It's an inception. It's a dream within a dream. It's a rehearsal within a rehearsal.
But he's also fucking like Leonardo DiCaprio fucked with Mao.
Yeah.
And you know how he took the top and spun it and then closed the safe? That's what he's doing to Chucky. He's taking the top, spinning it, and closing the safe.
Yeah, this show is fucking insane.
Yeah.
This show is fucking insane.
Yeah.
So if you're not watching the rehearsal, like, because it gets deeper than this, right?
Yo, because he has a breakdown because he thinks it's real, where he's just like, look, can you just let me grieve with my grandpa how I want to deal with it?
Right, and I was tearing up with the motherfucker too. Like that when that happened, it's like, oh shit, he's having a real emotional connection, but also it's a fucking lie, right? Right? Because I feel bad two ways. It's like this dude is grieving for his grandfather, but also you've been emotionally manipulated into this response.
And so Nathan tries to find Chucky again, and Chucky just basically leaves the show
to eat funnel cake with his gold digger girlfriend.
And he just never hits Nathan back.
Right.
He got the emotional catharsis, so he never needs to do the actual thing
with his
that
actual
he was
brother.
rehearsing.
Right. the show is so fucking out there. It's so evil, but also so poignant.
So let's get into
Right.
episode 4, because
Yes, 'cause-
episode 4 became Multiverse of Madness, where we just kept
Right.
going deeper and deeper. I was like, what the fuck?
So it's like Nathan rehearsed himself. He was running a rehearsal for himself. So he goes to California to train actors to be in his rehearsals. But the thing is, he doesn't think he's connecting with them the way
Yeah.
he should. So then he has the acting class, but then he restages it with him playing one of the actors. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? It's a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream. Oh, fuck.
And so he has this whole existential crisis doing this actor setup for the
Right.
rehearsal. So finally this shit ends because it gets so deep, and like honestly, a lot of it you gotta see it to believe.
Right, we
Like,
cannot explain how weird.
He moves the actor out of his own house to move into the actor's house.
Right.
And then moves out of the actor's house to move into the actor's fake house.
Right.
Like the shit gets so deep. So eventually that all finishes and he goes back to Portland.
Meanwhile, as we've got to mention, with the kid grows
Yeah.
every 3 days.
Yeah.
So every 3 days they're bringing in an older child actor. So by the time Nathan gets back from his trip,
Adam is like 16.
16, and fucking hates him.
So yeah, because he shows up and like the actor's like, "Hey, Dad," and Nathan doesn't. He's kind of thrown for a minute.
Right.
He's like, because he forgot. He's like,
Right.
well, "What the fuck?" So then he pulls the actor playing Adam to the side. He's like, how would your dad feel? And he's like, this is totally break character now. He's like, okay. He's like, what's your name? Joshua. He's like, all right. So Joshua, how would you feel if your dad came home after 9 years? And he's like, I'd be pissed, man, because you didn't give me a hug. He didn't, you just came in and said hi. And he's like, all right, use that. And so they keep using all the resentment and shit. And he's
Right.
like, yeah, he keeps saying, yo, Joshua, what do you think about this? And Joshua's like, yeah, I'd start doing drugs and all this type. And so it starts mirroring Angela's real life.
Right,
Because
right. Yeah.
when she starts saying, yeah, I was drinking and then I started doing cocaine, weed,
Right.
acid.
And I hated my father.
And I was like, yeah, nigga, listen, I hate my dad too, but I ain't go down no rabbit hole of drugs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So all that makes sense when you hear this. It's like, yeah, this is a lot of white women I know, and it explains.
But
so
I think
much.
she's mixed. She looks mixed.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, but whatever.
It explains a lot.
Yeah.
So,
And meanwhile, she's still not raising the kid.
no, she's off fucking doing whatever the fuck she
Like
wants.
dancing around like in her fully paid for fucking house in the middle of Oregon.
Yeah, so Adam starts doing drugs and shit, and she's trying to like handle the situation like a parent, like how
Right.
she wants to parent. Like, yeah, my parents weren't there for me. I'm trying to be there for you. And he's just like, no, fuck you guys. And like they're trying to handle it, and it culminates
With
the kid ODing. and Nathan's just like, Angela, come here. And she's like, what? What happened? She's seeing this kid fucking ODing, having an ambulance and everything.
right, and it's just so fucking out. This is real. This is reality TV. This is not scripted. I mean, I'm sure some of it is, but like this is real, right? So like they're all pretending that this is real, but then they're feeling that it's real. At the end of I don't want to ruin the episode, but like they fucking just like do a hard reset.
Because Nathan wasn't around
Right.
to see the kid grow up, so that's why he asked Angela, like, would it be okay if we took a step back? And she's like, what if it thanks to show? And I was like, I paused it at that point.
Right.
When I watched it for the second time. I turned to my brother. I'd be like, if I was her, I'd say no, because fuck that, because he
Right.
wasn't around. And Trey's like, yeah, that's not his
That-
rehearsal.
That's right.
That's
right.
her rehearsal.
But now it is his rehearsal because he jumped in. So yeah, if you're not watching the rehearsal, I mean, I can't suggest it to you because it takes a certain type of person to like this show. We're both fucked up individuals, so yeah, like we're all about this shit. But like if you're a little bit more of a sensitive soul, this may destroy you.
I would like to give a shout out to all the people who are on this show doing rehearsals because you're all awful people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how Nathan found you guys and actually tricked you guys
Yo,
into
look,
doing this show.
look, crack don't buy itself, baby.
Like,
Crack,
goddamn.
it's either fucking you're an actor, you're starving actor, right? It's either fucking be in a rehearsal or suck dick.
Like, yo, that shit is... Woo, I got some problems, but nigga, I would not have Nathan Fielder deal with my problems.
Oh yeah, God no. Like if you saw Nathan For You, you should know not to come near me
Why didn't anybody Google him before saying yes?
because the check's cashed. Because the check's cashed. So that's the rehearsal. Oh Jesus Christ. So I'm gonna another show I've watched on Netflix, which is perhaps the greatest horror film of this year, is the documentary on Woodstock '99.
Oh, Trainwreck.
Trainwreck.
Yeah, I watched it too just because I watched the HBO one.
Yeah.
And they're both pretty different, but it comes to the same conclusion about what destroyed that festival, which is
Capitalism.
angry white music, angry white dudes in heat, and then,
Fucking capitalism.
Like, and this one really, more than the other one, showed how they really got fucked.
Right. So Woodstock '99. If you don't know about it, fucking Google it. You know, it's a search
There's a
engine.
million articles out there, and there'll probably be like a million more documentaries, and I'll watch every single
Right,
fucking
because
one.
I love this shit. It's just, it was a stupid idea to begin with, right? Because the culture had changed
Right.
so vastly, right? So that love and peace and understanding shit was out the window. Now, I'm not saying Woodstock '69 probably didn't have its problems. It most definitely did.
Oh yeah, they covered that in the HBO one.
Right? But like you add in this new generation of entitled youth, this angry music, the fact that like they sold the rights to everything, right? The whole entire all of Woodstock '99 was like sponsored by Budweiser, fucking Monster energy drinks.
And this one makes it clear like they weren't carding. Like they didn't care. They're
Right,
as long as
right.
they're getting paid. So there's like mad underage kids like halfway through the first day passed out because they're drunk as shit.
Right, like
In 100-degree weather.
right, the lowest bidder for all the infrastructure. Like after the first day, it looked like fucking Sarajevo. It was just bombed out and depleted. Trash everywhere. I think there were stray dogs. What are there stray dogs?
Nah, but my thing is, there's plenty of open fields. Why the fuck would you have it at an airbase on tarmac in 100-degree heat?
Right. Well, because they ran into that problem with '94, where they tried to like have it in a field and all the rain and shit.
You know what you do? Because I saw they cover that. You build better fucking fences
Yeah.
and better barriers so people don't fucking sneak in. It's that simple.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's just seeing this footage of like 250,000 people. Like, I can't imagine that. Like, in my wildest dreams, 250,000 people in one place.
Does Coachella even have that many people?
No, I thought it was Coachella maybe, 50,000?
Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because
Because Coachella sells out in a fucking second, and there's mad people there.
right? But like 250,000 people.
But no
in this-
security.
no, like the security was a joke. They had like 15 real security people,
And then the rest were all kids.
real, selling their shirts and shit like that. It's
And
like,
just like on the HBO one, they told them, in this one too, they cover it too. Oh yeah, take all their food and water, but let them keep their drugs and booze.
right. It's like, oh, that's
Weapons, let them keep that
Yeah.
shit.
And here's the thing that was different from the HBO documentary and the Netflix documentary. The Netflix documentary, they get into a lot more detail about the sexual assaults
At the end of it.
at the end of it, right? Like that whole entire story about Fatboy Slim and
and the van?
the van. I was
Yeah.
like, yo,
Yeah.
that is fucking horrible.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, HBO covers it more broadly because they save it more. Like I said, they save most of the sexual assault shit to the end, and I think it's covered more broadly in the HBO one. But this one, it gets into like really
Right.
how it turned so quickly.
Yeah. So fucking Limp Bizkit.
And you know what? I can't even blame them because they're putting on a fucking show. Like the dude before they even got to the first opening act, the dude who was putting together the festival, who put around the other one, he
Right.
had people telling him like,
don't
book these bands.
Don't book Korn, Limp Bizkit, fucking
Metallica, all
right.
at the same festival.
Right.
Like, are you insane? And they just all looked at him and said,
And they expect Sheryl Crow to quell the audience.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
Like, fuck you.
yeah, like, yo, they ain't listen.
Fucking
They
capitalism.
ain't fucking care.
Fucking capitalism. So yeah, definitely watch if you get a chance. Trainwreck, Woodstock '99.
Yo, and this one gets into how fucked up the vendors got too, because some of them ran out of stuff, and they were like, "All right,
$12 for a bottle of water."
So bottle, which was already overpriced,
Right.
$4.
Then this is
went up-
99 money.
Yeah, this is 99. So $4 back then, that's basically $10 now. So
Right.
that for them to be like, all right, so it's going to be $10 for a bottle of water after it's hard to get water. That means in today's money, that was $20 for a bottle of water.
Right. So they
So,
were
yeah.
grimy as fuck.
So yeah, you know what? After a while, I'd probably burn down the fucking festival too.
Yeah, and like the footage of like you've seen the footage, but like just seeing, like having these interviews of the people who survived, like not survived, but like who were there when the fire started going. I'm like, the fact that more people didn't die during this whole entire thing, during those 3 days, is a miracle.
I mean, the HBO one, that's where I think it did a little better, is they got into the riot a little more,
Right.
because you hear from like the vendors and then even the security, because in the HBO one, the security dude was like, yeah, we all looked at each other and turned our shirts inside out because we
Right.
knew like, oh, we're going to get fucked
Right.
up. And they said the vendors, they're like, yeah, all we had was money. So we left all of our items there because at that point we were like, we could order new shit, but we grabbed all of our money and our supplies and just ran for it.
Yeah, it was like it's actually terrifying watching this documentary.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah.
watching that sea of people. All right, so moving on, I'm going to close out with I started watching Sandman on Netflix. All right, and I've seen a lot of reviews from people saying that it's boring, that it's it's a little too weird. I fucking love this show. I love the fact that it's boring. I love the fact that it's esoteric. I've never read the comic, so this is my only frame of reference for it, and this is right up my alley. I understand you don't want to watch it.
Yeah, because like I said earlier, I've read the comics,
Right.
and to me, it's impossible to properly do this and do it justice.
Right, and I get that. So, like, this isn't made for comic book fans, right? This is made for people who would like to read the comics but don't, And I think that's what a lot of comic book fans have to realize, that when they turn your favorite comic book into a movie or a TV show, it's not really for you. It's for someone who would not necessarily watch that shit or would read that shit, And so not only do you have to change things to be able to fit in the constraints of a TV show or a movie, right?
Right.
But you also have to make it accessible to someone who's not going to go to fucking Wage Comic Relief, who doesn't know who Neil Gaiman is, right?
No Gaiman.
No, Gaiman. Like I can't never.
No Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can never pronounce his name, or I don't care enough. Fuck it. So as a person who like I've wanted to read the comics, I just haven't. For whatever reasons, I enjoyed what I'm seeing, but as a comic book fan, like I could get where someone will be pissed off for all the stuff that they're leaving on the table, but you have to realize that it's a different medium, and it's never going to get exactly 100% right.
I mean, I'm glad you're enjoying it, but like I said, man, it's just
and like you never have to watch it because you've read the comic.
well, I mean, I don't mind. Look, adaptation, obviously, they're gonna have to change shit,
Right.
man. I mean, I've read shit when they change shit for the movie. I'm like, yeah, because like Gone Girl, they changed like that story basically similar structure, but they took out characters and added characters. I was like, yeah, it's fine. But yeah, man, it's just I don't trust Netflix, man.
Yeah. I mean, at points this does look like it's weird. Parts of it look like they spent some money on it, and other parts seemed like okay because they spent money on this part, they're gonna cheap out on this fucking part.
Yeah, see, it's that fucking Netflix.
It's that
shit.
Netflix. Like, they don't know how to spend money.
Fucking, and you need like $200 million to do Sandman.
Yeah, I don't even know what the budget was
But-
on it. Like, they weren't dealing with Stranger Things money with this.
Yeah,
I can
see.
tell you can tell that right away.
But that's the problem, man. Is like Sandman, it has to be expensive, but the story it's too philosophical and too esoteric. Where it's just like it's not. Nobody in their right mind is going to pay $200 million to do it.
Right. Like my favorite episode so far, because I'm only 7 episodes in, and it's 10 episodes so far, is episode 5 when it gets real fucking weird.
Did Dream escape yet, or is he still captured?
The dreams escaped.
Okay.
Like now.
Because that's the whole first arc is him being captured.
Right, like no, he's escaped, and now he is trying to get his ruby back from fucking Magus's son.
Oh, so they're doing 2 arcs. How long is this show?
It's 10 episodes, an hour, at like 45 minutes each.
Jeez, that's 2 whole ass arcs.
No, 3 arcs, man. 3, because we close out that arc, and now we're on to the Dream Vortex.
In 10 episodes?
10 episodes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sure. That's. Oh, you know what? Sure. You
All right.
enjoy it. Sure.
Yeah. I like, look, I like it. You know, but I'm glad I'm watching this before reading the comic book, because I'm sure if I read the comic book, I would absolutely fucking hate this.
I don't know how you dive into the themes of the stories trying to tell that quickly, but you know what? You listen.
Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is. And I've been meaning to talk about this fucking movie. I'm going to close out with this. I've been meaning to talk about this fucking movie for like 3 weeks, and I never get a chance to talk about it. The Informer on Netflix. It came out in 2019, you know, right before the end of the world and shit like that. And it is a surprisingly fucking good, low-ish budget, like $60 million prison movie. All right, it's starring I forgot the fucking Joel Kinnaman. All right, and I can't tell if Joel Kinnaman is a good actor or not.
No, he's a good actor. You just got to be in the right role.
Right? You know, like in some things he kills it, and in other things it's like, are you an actor or are you just a model who speaks lines? But this is one of those Joel Kinnaman movies where he's like, he puts his foot in it, right? He plays, it's based on a true story, like all this fucking bullshit is. A narc, you know, he's a police informant who has to go to jail to get a confession to get information on a drug lord or something like that, right? In order to bust whoever, blah 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 blah, and all of a sudden, the FBI who put him in there, they're like, "We got to burn you. Like, we're just gonna leave you there." Right, and it's him trying to escape prison. Now he's got a snitch jacket on him, people know, and so he's trying to not only get out of prison, but also get back to the FBI and stay alive. All right, and this came out of nowhere. Right, this movie, I had heard nothing about it. You know, like I said, it came out like it was produced in 2019, and for something that didn't. Like, I would see this in theaters, and it would be a really nice, tight, adult thriller, something that we don't see often in theaters. And I don't, you know, it's something that deserves some eyes on it, you know, because it's well crafted, it's well acted. You know, Common's in there, and he's not doing his sexy Common thing. You know, Rosamund Pike's in it, playing his FBI handler, and like it's got that same moral ambiguity that she had in Gone Girl. You know, like I don't know how to feel about this chick, right? Yeah, so if you get a chance, it's on Netflix now. The Informer, give it a watch.
Well, real quick, I'm gonna run through. Let's start with Evil. Evil is fucking still nutty this season. David's as the season started, David is now a priest. David is now undercover, working for the Vatican and trying to figure out these demons for the Vatican, while also investigating Kristen. And Kristen, meanwhile, has we found out at the end of last season, one of her eggs was stolen because she went to this fertility place, and this fertility place is ran by demons.
Oh, word?
And it's evil.
Oh, okay.
So, she's trying to track down her missing egg. So, yeah, this shit, it gets wild.
It seems nutty as shit. I love it.
There's a woman who's protected by the church who can predict the future, and she draws it. And so Ben from Lost, he's a piece of shit, and he's like the antagonist of the show. He goes to find her because she's meddling in his plans, and he tries to kill her, and instead he kills 3 priests, and he ends up getting injured himself. So he runs out of the Covenant, and there's one of the priests is a major character on the show. He's dead. So I'm interested to see where we're going from here. Move on to Harley Quinn. So far, season 3 of Harley Quinn has not been as strong as the first 2 because they're telling a love story. And honestly, this love story is, it's not bad. This is not what I want from this show. I want the zany craziness.
Right, and that was the appeal of the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
It was just it didn't seem like it cared.
Yeah.
Right? It was just we're gonna get canceled anyway, so let's fucking just throw everything against the wall.
Yeah, man. We need the craziness back. It's still off the wall, but not as off the wall as it can and should be.
How many episodes are we in?
It's 3 episodes so
Okay.
far. Yeah. Westworld has been wild this season. This last episode, if that was the season finale, I would have been pissed. It ends crazily. I just don't know how they're gonna wrap this show up this season.
Yeah, I'm a week behind, and we have had this conversation before. It's season 3 brought me back on board, all right? And this season, it's one of those rare shows where I can't predict anything until maybe 5 minutes before it actually happens, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I really
it's
don't know.
one of those. It does what good TV is supposed to do. It entertains and subverts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. We got 2 episodes left. So, Better Call Saul, because I haven't seen this week, so we could talk for the past 2 weeks.
Right.
Which was Breaking Bad was last week, and then the week before was Nippy. And Nippy is one of my favorite hours of TV, just because, like you just said, Better Call Saul for me is a show where episode to episode I have no idea what's going to happen.
Right.
No clue.
Nippy was just what? Why is he doing this?
Yeah.
I find that all the way through Better Call Saul. Why is he doing this? And it's not I'm angry at him or anything like that. I'm genuinely watching on the edge of my seat. Is how is this going to fucking pay off?
Right. And Nippy could have been the series finale, and I would have been satisfied.
For me, Nippy would have been a great penultimate episode, second to last episode. If Nippy happened, and then the episode after that, we see Saul 20 years from now in an old folks' home running cons. I'd be happy with that. I'd be good with that.
All right. So last week's episode was called Breaking Bad because the episode that he was introduced in Breaking Bad was called Better Call Saul.
Right.
So Breaking Bad brings back Walt and Jesse, and this one particularly pissed me off just because I'm dude, you're in the clear. You made it unscathed out of Albuquerque, why the fuck are you pulling scams again?
Right, because it's ingrained in him. He's always going to be Slippin' Jimmy.
It pisses me off, man.
Yeah, like it's what it is. You got away with murder, you got away with it, but like, or not murder, but it's like one of those situations where
I mean, he practically did.
Right, it's just not enough because he doesn't feel the thrill that he did when he was fucking lawyering up, Breaking Bad, my problem with that episode was honestly the stuff with Jesse.
Walt and Jesse.
Yeah.
Because they tied it back into his first appearance on Breaking Bad, and they didn't need to.
Right.
Like you could have. I wish they had wrote a different flashback for Walt and Jesse and Saul, because you have a whole year of history there. Y'all could have came up with something.
Right.
Just like they did with the El Camino movie. Like that flashback, completely new, never seen before.
Yeah,
I mean, fucking sucks.
So the only thing that this episode of Breaking Bad, or this episode of Saul, Breaking Bad, what it made me just want to go back and watch the Better Call Saul episode,
right,
of Breaking Bad, just so I could like pick up the references to Nacho and Lalo and shit like that. And see,
I did that right before season 4 started. I
Right.
watched that episode and I was like, damn, this motherfucker still thinks these two are alive. So,
spoiler alert.
yeah, man, and we'll leave it at that. And the last thing I'll get into with TV is Only Murders in the Building. This season it's been entertaining so far, and like this week's episode, you find out who the killer is, and I thought about it. I was like, man, that dude's the killer. 15 minutes later, they revealed it, and I was like, yes, I got it. For once, I finally got it. And we'll see how the rest of the show plays out. I think there's only 3 or 2 more episodes left.
I got to catch up on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the first season. It's just one of those. There's so much content out there, man.
Infinite content,
right? And it's like I feel like I'm fucking drowning in it. So the shit I really like, I kind of want to binge it.
That show you can. Right?
Yeah.
It works either or, but like I'm kind of tired of binging, so that's why
that's why I like what Hulu's,
week to week.
That's why I like what Hulu's doing with some of these shows. It's just like
week to week.
Yeah,
so that is fucking TV for me. Now we're gonna get into some movies, and I want to start with The Personal History of David Copperfield. It's a new adaptation of David Copperfield, the book by Charles Dickens. David Copperfield's played by Dev Patel.
that came out like 2 years ago,
yeah,
like a year ago.
Yeah, it doesn't reinvent the wheel. It's fine. It's real good. I mean, it's on HBO Max, so like you can't go wrong.
Right.
Like you're gonna get great. It's Armando Iannucci. It's something different from him instead of like the satires he usually does. You know. Shout out to Dave Patel. I finally saw it because I'm an Easy Rawlings fan. And I haven't seen it yet just because I love the book so much. But I was like, I finally pulled the trigger. I was like, fuck it. Let me watch it. Finally watched Devil in the Blue Dress.
Yo!
Man, watching this makes me mad that this wasn't a series of films. Because, like, when I picture Easy Rawlings reading the story, you picture this handsome, swaggering black dude who figures out what situation he's in the moment he walks into the room. That's how he protects himself. Because he could read the room. Denzel's easy. Like, and now I'm just like, yo, maybe I would love to pitch to HBO an Easy Rawlings show and just have it each season be like, 2 or 4 episodes a season, and we do a book each season. So like, we'll do Rose Gold, Little Green, because I love these books because Walter Mosley's just a great writer, and the books are short; they're all like 200 pages.
Right, it's sort of what they were trying to do with who the fuck was it? Perry Mason.
Oh no, they are because season 2 is dropping soon.
Okay, is it? All right, awesome.
So and you know what, man? Get John David to be easy. Man, he's a good actor.
He is, but I mean, what's wrong with putting Denzel in there?
He's too old for Easy now, man.
Not like you can make an old like how long do the book series goes for? I mean, you can make an old man Easy Rawlings.
He's still in like his early 30s, though, mid 30s. Right. Yeah, you can't do that shit. Right. Mouse though, holy shit, John, like, I was like, who's going to play Mouse in this shit? And then Don Cheadle shows up, and I was like, damn, did this motherfucker jump off the page and on the screen? Because reading that book, I was just like, damn, this is Mouse. Like, this is just Mouse. I don't know who you get to replace Don Cheadle as Mouse.
Yeah, people, like, don't give Don Cheadle enough respect when it comes to fucking... Excuse me. They don't give him enough respect when it comes to, like, fucking great American actors.
Yeah,
You
so,
know?
I mean, I want the Criterion 4K of this, so...
Is it coming out?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's already out, but also, just to circle back to what we talked about in news, because I forgot to talk about this, 6 movies disappeared on HBO Max, and this is why I tell people, buy what you love, because streaming ain't guaranteed. Like, I wanted to show my brother, I forget, it was some sequel. I was like, oh yeah, it's probably up on streaming. It was up on streaming for 2 months, and then when we finally get to it, they took it down, and the only thing you could do is rent it. And I was just like, well, shit.
And, like, here's the thing. I hate the idea of renting or buying this shit digitally because they can still pull the same shit. Like,
Yeah.
They can still fucking pull it. Like, PlayStation did it a couple of months ago where anything that you actually bought from the PlayStation store because they lost their whatever contract or distribution deal, like, you don't own that anymore. And they're not giving you any fucking money back.
Yeah,
for it.
Amazon straight up said that. Like,
Yeah.
yo, you buy a movie from us, if we stop hosting it, that's it. Like, it's lost. That's why I don't buy digital. I only use digital copies that come with the
physical,
actual
right.
physical. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not spending $20-something on a digital copy.
No, why? Why?
So-
Why? Like, if you don't own it, like, buying digital is the same thing as fucking renting. It's just you're paying more.
Yeah, so I'm really seeing shit disappear like that. It just makes me. I tell people this is why you buy physicals. Like,
Right.
yo, because if I want to watch Dark Knight may not be up on any fucking streaming service. I could just grab the fucking Blu-ray, just throw that bitch in.
Yep.
And that's why I got to get Kimmy because.
Yeah. You like Kimmy? They're gonna take that down.
Oh yeah, so
yeah.
and I want to get it before they decide to stop printing those Blu-rays too, because you never know, they might pull that from circulation
Yeah.
too. So, listen, physical media is still king.
Yeah. I mean, I still have VHSs. Like, fuck it. You know, like, some things aren't on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever like that. Like,
Yeah, so
like, sometimes you need to hold something in your hand to know that you own it and you possess it.
yeah. So I'm gonna move on to All the President's Men. This was my first time seeing it, my
All right.
brother's first time seeing it, and goddamn, this movie is still relevant today because ain't shit changed. And watching this, I'm like, man, we gotta start giving journalists guns. Like, we sending them into the thick of the shit just to get a story, and I'm like, nigga, they need guns. You know what I mean? Like, you go to talk to somebody, you might not be talking to fishes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, All the President's Men makes me appreciate investigative journalism, and that's what's missing today. It's mostly clickbait, and we undervalue journalists.
Right. I
Good
mean,
journalists.
well, we don't respect news in general now. But yeah,
I
like,
mean, that's,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, we know. Yeah, but like, also, yeah, we don't have. It is, like you said, it's clickbait. It's like we have such short attention spans
Yeah.
now that no one's gonna read a five series investigative report on the prison industrial complex, right? If it's not on a top 10 list, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, my brother, for the first time, because he's never seen it, so I sat him down. We watched First Blood and Rambo
Yes.
First Blood Part 2. And watching these back to back, I love like that First Blood, man. Again, another movie still relevant. Love it. First Blood Part 2, man. Watching these back to back, I was just like,
It's just sharp.
yeah,
it's sharp
it's,
decline.
It's the there's no need for this movie to exist. Like, and to be honest with you, watching this again, I'm like, dude, this doesn't even get like even remotely entertaining till like the end where it just goes balls to the wall insane, and even
Right.
then you're just like,
Too little, too late.
and it, for a movie about veterans and how they're treated and shit like that, to go back and then say, yo, this time you get to win the war. It's just like,
Right, yeah, like,
fucking Reagan era dog.
Well, here's the thing, like it totally betrays the spirit of the first one, and
Yes.
like every subsequent movie,
Yes.
is a little bit. It dies a little bit more. Like when in 3, when he's helping the Afghan rebels against the Russians, and then in 4, what was 4?
He's in Cambodia.
Okay, right.
But I don't even know. I can't even remember what he was doing in Cambodia.
Wait, is that the one that came out a couple of years ago, or is that the one that came out because he went to Cambodia twice, right?
No, he just
No. He went to Indonesia once,
Right.
in John Rambo, right? All right, so
That's just Rambo.
that's just Rambo. Wasn't there?
Fourth was just Rambo.
Fourth was Rambo. Okay.
Released overseas as John Rambo.
Gotcha.
Released here, it was just Rambo.
All right.
That's where he had the fucking machine gun turning people into street meat.
Yeah.
So and then I talked about the Mexico one, which was the 5th one.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that one again.
Fucking. He forgot to take his anti-nom pills and had a nom flashback.
Because I was like, yo, I own First Blood on 4K, and I was like, oh yeah, watch it. Let me watch the second one with Trey, because maybe I might cop the second one.
Right.
And then watching it again, I was like, nah, I don't need to buy this shit. Like, yeah, I'll stick with the first one, and that's it. That's where that story ends for me. So moving forward, I saw an animated for kids remake of Blazing Saddles called Paws of Fury: The Legend of Hank. I can't tell. It's bad. I slept through a chunk of it.
Wait,
Mel Brooks is in it.
could you stop for a second? You watched an animated remake of Blazing Saddles for kids.
Yeah.
That is something someone pitched to someone else, and they said that was a good fucking
I
idea.
Googled this movie. This movie has been kicking around Hollywood for decades. It was supposed to come out in like 2015 under the title Blazing Samurai. So now it's out as Paws of Fury: The Legend of Hank. The short before it was awesome. It was the short. I've never heard of this show. It was called Big Nate. The shit is unhinged.
What the fuck is Big Nate about?
It's about this fucking kid and his friends. And like they're not supposed to be eating sugar and shit. And the one kid keeps a hamster in his pocket. And so these niggas decide, oh yeah, they Google how to make ice cream. So they get the ingredients to make ice cream. They make ice cream. And because they're not supposed to eat it, they go into a sugar coma. And while they pass out, the hamster that's not supposed to be eating sugar crawls up onto the table, starts eating ice cream, winks at the camera, and this shit goes sentient and starts like,
I'm sorry, what?
yeah, this fucking little hamster starts like doing all types of evil shit while these kids are passed out. Yeah, nigga, like the short is called Bad Hamster. The show is called Big Nate. It's a Nickelodeon show, and I had to Google it. This is a popular ass show with kids. Like, this shit had me dying. I was sitting in that theater. I was by myself. I was the only person in the theater.
Right.
That fucking 15 minutes short, for that whole 15 minutes, I was rolling. I was just like, yo, this shit is the most unhinged shit I've ever seen. Like, I was dying.
Yo, I'm gonna have to watch this Big Nate shit.
Yeah, Big Nate presents Bad Hamster.
So they all went on acid trips, and then the hamster had some acid because sugar. It's just nothing but fucking cocaine for kids.
And like it has like a Barry White voice that's sounding all evil and shit. Don't stick me in your pocket. This shit is crazy. Like I put in Letterboxd. I was like, I gave The Legend of Hank, Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank. I gave it 3.5 stars, and I was like, this rating is for the Big Nate short only.
Yeah, let's talk more about fucking Paws of Fury. Like, how is it a remake of Blazing Saddles?
Because it's literally about racism, except instead of black people, it's a dog. Because the world that this dog lives in is just cats. Look, man, I ain't write the shit. I got 15 minutes into the movie and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, all right. And so eventually I just started nodding in and out of sleep because again, I'm just tired. So I was just like, I'd wake up, it'd be some more dumb shit. I was like, all right.
Okay. All right.
Yo, it's the reason why this shit didn't make no money. It looks fucking like it was made for like $2 too. Like the animation is
to me
goddamn garbage.
Like the animation looked like whatever fucking what was the samurai fucking Kung Fu Panda bullshit, wasn't there?
See, Kung Fu Panda, the first one, that animation was excellent.
Right.
But I mean, Kung Fu Panda is like Ninja Turtles, the original, where the quality declines. Like those suits in the first one, you could tell like they cared. You get to the second one, you're like, ooh, man. And that's the one where all the parents complain. So they're playing with like Nerf guns and like sausage links. And then you get to the third one. And then the third one, you're just like, damn, y'all made paper mache for these fucking turtles.
This is like, oh, we got this is Wish.com Ninja Turtles. Like we got Ninja Turtles at home.
Yeah, damn. So yeah, that's Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank. Days. I saw there's a movie on the Criterion Channel called Days of Wine and Roses. It's directed by not Billy Wilder, but like the other Billy who was popular, Blake Edwards. I'm sorry. So Blake Edwards. Yeah. I get it. Stars Jack Lemmon, and he's like an ad exec.
Right.
And he meets and falls in love with this beautiful woman who also works at the ad agency. This nigga's an alcoholic, and the whole movie is about how he slowly pulls her into his alcoholism, and you just watch them descend. Like they get married, they have a daughter who they neglect, they just get hammered.
So it's like Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah, except like not as bleak. And the ending they wrote, because, you know, this came out in 1962. Around that time, you could not do bleak endings. They wanted, you know,
right.
happy endings. The ending is not happy. So what they did was they all loved the movie so much that Jack Lemmon's like, you know what, fuck this. He hopped on a plane. As soon as they were done, he hopped on a plane and hid out in Europe for 3 months. So the studio...
so couldn't do the reshoot?
Yep.
Yo.
Yep.
That's gangster.
Yep. Yep. So it don't matter. It ended up being a box office hit. It was
Right.
nominated for Mad Awards. So, like, they won in the end.
Oh, man.
I'm going to get into my next movie called Midnight Run. Midnight Run, I hadn't seen this before. It was my first time watching it. It was on the Criterion Channel. And I'm trying to just go through the Criterion Channel and watch it. And I was just like...
Well, I was still there.
I was in the mood to watch something entertaining. Because most of the shit on the Criterion Channel, you got to be in the mood to watch that shit. Yeah, man, I understand why this was a huge hit. You know what I mean? It's cool seeing Charles Gordon take on a light-hearted role because I just know him as the fucking
the alt-right, like the pundit, you know, like your racist uncle.
To me, he's the uptight dad from Beethoven. Beethoven 1, Beethoven 2.
Yeah, I mean, what did he do before that? Shit,
the nigga's he's Beethoven's dad. That's all I know him as. Like he was the asshole Beethoven dad in 1 and 2.
Because I knew him from Beethoven. I knew him from Midnight Run. But also he didn't end his end of life. Didn't he have a show and he was like a news program and he was
Beethoven's dad. That's what he is.
Beethoven's dad.
All right, so moving on, I'm going to talk about Alex Cross, the Tyler Perry one, directed by Rob Cohen. I will say this. Alex Cross, I've read these books. They're mysteries. He does get into some shit, and he's good about getting out of some shit. However, you do not turn this character into an action hero. That's just not the character.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, that's not the character. And don't get me wrong, watching it, I'm like, damn, if I wouldn't want to see Tyler Perry star in an action movie, just not this one and not by Rob Cohen.
And here's the thing. I clown Tyler Perry. But not because he can't act.
It's because he doesn't care.
I don't think it's that Tyler Perry doesn't care. I think it's that Tyler Perry owes his audience something better. You know, like you have their eyes, you have all this money, you have all this access, you have this stuff like that. Raise your audience up,
right, man? Because in this, I'm like, he's not even that bad. And then he was excellent in Gone Girl. So, like, this dude has the chops.
Right.
And honestly, what does a disservice to this whole movie?
Rob Cohen.
And the fucking script. Like, this script, every time somebody opened their mouth and talked, I was like, what the fuck? Who wrote this? Ed Burns is in it. I was like, damn, man, I feel bad. And you know what? Ed Burns and Tyler Perry had a great chemistry.
Right.
Matthew Fox is the villain. And, boy, there's a part of this that did make me yak, almost. It's Matthew Fox. He cuts off people's fingertips and then burns them. Because that's how he tortures them, because he's a serial killer.
Cool.
Yeah, I like it.
I
It's
guess.
also somebody got to tell Rob, like, yo, what the fuck was up with the fucking handhelds? Because the action will be shot in close-ups and handhelds, like he's fucking Nolan. And at least Nolan, I understood what he was doing there.
Right.
Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Here, you're getting somebody who has no clue what the fuck he's doing.
It's Rob Cohen, man. Like,
How does he keep getting to make movies?
name a good Rob Cohen film.
I only know two. Well, I know a bunch, but there's only, I guess, Dragonheart.
Okay.
And then everything else has been shit, like Fast and Furious 1. I don't know why he refuses to come back for that.
No, we don't need him. We don't need him for Fast and the Furious series.
Triple X, and that got much better once he left.
Yeah.
Remember
I told you about
the
that.
Skulls.
Told you about that fever dream I had when I woke up and I was watching Stealth.
Oh, I forgot he did that.
Yeah.
He did The Boy Next Door.
Yeah.
He did The Mummy 3. And
Keep it up. Like, I'm still waiting for a good one.
I just finally finished, like, a few months ago. I talked about it on the show, The Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. That was my first time making it all the way through.
I haven't even started that one.
Yo.
Man. Like, I refuse to.
Mummy 2 is a piece of shit. Like, it is goddamn garbage. And that shit looks like fucking Godfather compared to fucking 3. Like,
yeah.
Mummy just didn't need a sequel, dog.
I mean, it could have gotten, it got plenty of sequels. And I could have seen it being
Got a spinoff, too.
The Scorpion. Let's talk about the Scorpion King, man.
Remember when he showed up at the end of The Mummy Returns? The giant fucking rock, half scorpion. Man, we shit on Marvel for CG, but damn. I was like, even for 2001, I was like, yo, y'all.
Was that a fucking screensaver? Like, was that like what the animation style was just like straight screensaver?
Why the fuck was the Scorpion King even in The Mummy Returns?
I don't know, man. No one knows.
Like, there's no reason for that shit to be in there.
And it's just like, it didn't even look like even partially like The Rock. It looked like you took some Native American with a ponytail and just posted his face on top of this CGI monstrosity.
I guess because I forgot that movie has so much CG between the Anubis dogs, the fucking pygmy mummies, fucking Imhotep himself.
I forgot all about that shit.
Yeah, remember the little pygmy mummies?
Yes. Oh, that was a piece of shit.
Yeah. That movie fucking awful. And then they tried the whole movie. They make Rachel Weisz look Egyptian because they put that eyeliner on. Right. Just like, this is racist.
I mean, come on. They got fucking James Franco playing Fidel Castro. Yeah, of course it's racist.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. I saw Centurion. That's the Neil Marshall movie.
I fuck with that movie.
It's a lot. Right. It's all right. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's definitely a direct-to-video movie that has high production value and a lot of actors where I was just like, why are you in this shit? So, I mean, I don't love it. I don't hate it.
It's like
too many Dutch angles. I was like, Neil, chill it on the Dutch angles.
And the thing is, Neil Marshall has gotten consistently worse over his career. I've watched his Hellboy again.
That's a piece of shit.
Right? Because I had watched it a couple of years ago, and I was like, it can't be nearly as bad as I remember it.
No, I watched it once. It was on HBO. That was a piece of shit.
And I watched it like recently. It was like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah, it's a piece of shit.
This is real bad.
So I'm going to get into my last movie. I saw this yesterday. It's called Emily the Criminal. It is about Aubrey Plaza as Emily. She's like in her 30s and she's just struggling to keep her head above water because, like this whole thing's a parable on capitalism.
Right.
And just how capitalism just breeds crime and just desperate people. She's just struggling to make ends meet. Like her jobs are fucking her over. she kind of gets in her own way, but then you understand why that frustration gets in her own way, just because there's a black cloud following her everywhere, and you'll find out what that cloud is.
Right.
Like, it really highlights a system that just keeps you down. Like, she's $70K in student debt, you know what I'm saying? And that's low.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm still paying off NYU.
Yeah,
it's
man.
20 years later.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, the ending is believable. Like, the thing I like about this, it keeps it small, because, you know, a lot of these thriller type movies, they get big with shootouts and shit like that, and everybody becoming a spy. But it's just literally like her friend's trying to hook her up with a job at her ad agency, and she finally gets the interview. And, like, Gina Gershon is the ad exec who runs the company, and she's like, yeah, it's going to be an internship. She's like, what? And she's like, is this paid? She's like, no, it's an internship for, like, 5-6 months. She's like, oh, so you're taking advantage of people. And then that's when she's like, oh, you're spoiled. You're privileged. I'm like, no, bitch. It's called...
It's like, I need to eat.
Yeah, and it's like... Look, the days of internships are done. Like, people gotta get paid. Like, either it could be an internship, but then you gotta pay people like at least $15 an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing to fucking say. It's some of these people can hop on Instagram and make more money in a day than, you know, a person working a 9-to-5 job. So you can't expect anyone to fucking work for you for free
anymore. And then
you know,
like, I understand she handled that badly. She probably should have kept all of her rage inside and just said, okay, this is not for me. Thank you for the opportunity. But I get that frustration too. For her to say too, like, oh, you're spoiled. I'm like, no, bitch. She needs, like, bro, she's there for a fucking job.
And she's not an 18-year-old in this, right? She's playing a 30-year-old.
Yes.
Right? Like, nah, I'm not going to be 30, 35 doing an internship.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Or at least the one that's not giving me money.
Right.
So, yeah, Emily the Criminal. And then we had a Q&A afterwards with the writer, director, and what's her face?
Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza, who plays Emily. She showed up, and so did Theo Rossi, because Theo Rossi's in it, and he gave a good performance, believe it or not.
Look, I love Theo Rossi. He's just in bad movies. You know?
So the writer-director is John Patton Ford. It's his first movie, and it's really well done for a first feature. They all seem to enjoy the movie. Aubrey's a producer on it, and she has her production company now. Her logo is called Evil Hag. Evil Hag Productions. It's even for this Q&A, she's cracking jokes and shit.
I just want to spend time with her, and it's like go out for drinks with Aubrey Plaza. She just seems like a down ass chick.
Yeah. So it's like, yo, it comes out August 12th. Go see it. I highly recommend it, and that's all I have.
All right.
So let's move into our main review.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blurds feature film review.
Trey, let me just say this straight off the bat. Fox, you fucked up.
Disney. The Disney Fox, let's say, I'm sorry, 20th Century. You fucked up by not putting this in theaters for a wide release. That's a Disney move.
For a wide release. Because this needs to be seen big and fucking loud. This movie's fucking amazing.
So me and Jeff, we got to go to a screening 2 weeks ago for this, and we've been gagged for 2 weeks because they thought they were going to get shit reviews. This has 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is my favorite Predator movie. It has some of the best character building in the whole franchise. It gets straight to the point, and it tells its story through action. You know what I mean? And you get to know the character.
And the thing is, it's fucking beautifully shot.
Yeah.
Like, it is a gorgeous goddamn film. And
it's like a mainstream version of The Revenant. Right?
Or like it's fucking Last of the Mohicans with fucking
a Predator.
With a Predator. It's not my favorite Predator movie. That is always going to be the first one, but that's just nostalgia speaking. As a movie itself, it is the best Predator movie we've ever had.
Yeah.
Like soup to nuts, like top to bottom. Craft.
Right.
craft wise, story wise, acting wise, it is the best.
They found
by a long shot.
Shout out to all the Comanche people in this, because they found like some real Native American Comanches and like acting their asses off. Aside from Amber Midthunder, because
Right.
she was in Legion, and she even in Legion, I remember thinking like, damn, we gotta put this girl in more shit.
Right.
And now seeing this, I'm like, she deserves to be an action star. I know she's currently on Roswell, New Mexico, which is the reboot of the old Roswell.
Right,
so
whatever.
I can't say anything.
I can't speak
I
to
haven't
that.
seen either version.
Yeah.
But Amber Midthunder is an actress I want to see more of.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
put
she's-
her in every action franchise.
She murdered this. Like there's a lot of these action movies where they try to where they put a female protagonist in there. Like, it's not believable that they're doing all this stuff.
Right.
The 355 is a perfect example of that shit, right?
Yeah, you could tell that was this feels like it could have been written by a woman,
Right.
and I mean that in a positive
Like
way.
in the best,
Right.
in the best possible way.
Right. The 355 felt like
It was
a
written
dude.
by. It was. It was written
Right.
by the fucking. Who was it?
It was written and directed by Simon Kinberg.
Yeah, like, that's
and
all you have to say.
It feels like it's Simon Kinberg.
Right,
so.
Simon. Like, I can't really. Yeah,
Yeah.
Simon Kinberg. But yeah, this feels it. For I hate to say, like, I feel weird saying this for a Predator movie, but it feels intimate. It feels personal. It feels fucking just. It's the movie's too good.
Shout out to
For
Dan,
what it is.
Yeah, shout out to Dan Trachtenberg, because this is only his second film, because his other film is 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Which it's
And
okay.
They should not have shoved that in
The
there.
Cloverfield
Yeah.
bullshit. Yeah, no, they shouldn't have. Like, just like the Cloverfield paradox.
Yeah. So yeah, I fucking love this movie. I watched it 3 times because there's a Comanche dub. That's the only problem I had with it. It was like, when we first saw it, I was
Right.
like, they're speaking way too much English. Like, it's fine to have them speaking English,
Right.
but almost all their dialogue, like, you get a few snippets of it in Comanche, and they
Right.
had a Comanche dub, and it fixed that. But my only problem with the Comanche dub is that it's a dub.
Right,
It's
right.
all the actors, so it's still their voices.
But it's still like their lips aren't moving. It's like disconcerting. Yeah.
So, my only other thing is sit through the credits, because they have these cave drawings like they
Right.
do. The cave drawings lead to a possible sequel,
Okay.
because we left.
Right.
And watching it again on Hulu, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. The only gripe I have, the only one, is that the Predator's face was accented with CGI.
See, I don't,
Like,
It
that
didn't
was
look-
like, I'm an old school motherfucker. Just give me some animatronics all the way through. But if that's the only complaint I have about this movie, then it's it's 9 out of 10.
Yo, I was so glad. Yo, I will say this: every person who gets got in this
Deserves it, right?
To
Well-
get got.
Well, not everybody.
What, one person,
Right.
Just one person, but everybody else, I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, because like when she's trying to leave and them niggas like straight punch her in the face, I'm like, yo, fuck her, fuck y'all, man, like,
Yeah.
yo, y'all don't need to do all that.
And so apparently, like the gun, right?
Yeah.
There's, that's the gun that the Predator gives Danny Glover in 2,
See, I knew I loved Predator 2 for a reason,
right?
I love Predator,
but it's
2.
the same gun. Like, it's literally the same prop and everything like that.
Damn,
Yeah.
see, when
Yeah.
people used to shit on me when I told them Predator 2 is my favorite.
I'm
Nah.
gonna have to go back and watch Predator 2.
So yeah, Prey. It's on Hulu.
Watch it.
Yeah, it's their highest stream movie. It had like 30 million streams
Good.
over the weekend.
It's fucking worth it. Like,
that could have been $30 million fucking dollars, because this movie was, I think it was only 10 or 20.
they only made it for 20.
Let's Google the budget, because I know it wasn't too expensive, and which makes sense, because they just did an expensive ass Predator movie, and then
That was
again, Fox getting in their own way, man. Because I think if they had really let Shane Black make the movie he wanted to make, that would have been much better.
like, I will always be mad at the PK 2000 Predator Killer 2000 suit that was unveiled in that last fucking piece of shit movie.
Oh, yo.
Fucking.
Once you get to the third act, that movie goes off the rails. Because
Right.
up to the third act, you're just like, yeah.
Okay,
this
I
is-
could like
yeah.
like it's a Shane Black Predator movie.
Yeah.
Like I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm just.
Yeah.
Man, it's hard to find a budget. I could have swore I saw a budget on this shit.
Hey, well, we can just say this with all honesty. It's probably cheaper than the cheapest Marvel movie.
Well, the one thing I want to point out is because I just saw it. This is all historically accurate,
Of course it is.
which I'm surprised.
Like you can't fuck that up. Like in this climate, yeah, you can't fuck up any sort of like anything that has to do with someone's culture.
I mean, if they could make a historically accurate Viking movies, I mean,
Right.
why
Like you
not?
can't. Like this, with the amount of with all the information and all the access to everything we have now, you can't fuck something up. You can't. That's why James Franco as Fidel Castro
It's fucking stupid.
is fucking stupid.
All right, well, let's move into Bullet Train, and
Do we have to?
I would be real with you. The only thing I remember is like this feeling like it was trying so hard to be a Guy Ritchie movie.
Look, it's smoking aces on a train.
I can't even tell you why everybody was there. Like I completely forgot why everybody was there, except for Brad Pitt to pick up the case.
Right, happenstance and circumstance and whatever. This is one of those movies, you've seen it a million times, where it's a bunch of bad motherfuckers talking about how bad the other motherfucker is, and you have nothing but exposition. You have nothing but like backstory on how bad these motherfuckers are, and then they do some badass shit for like a second, and then they die.
So what makes like Guy Ritchie movies good? Besides just Guy Ritchie himself, and then what made Smoking Aces good was Joe Carnahan. You needed one or two things to make this work. One, the comedy needed to be either super funny, which is not in here,
Right.
or two, the action needed to be super great, which it wasn't. It's becoming clear out of the duo that it was all Chad Stahelski that made
The John Wick movies.
yeah, that
work.
first John Wick, what it was. And, I mean, that's become apparent with the sequels because Chad has been doing the sequels solo. And David Leitch, man, I haven't seen a movie of his where I'm just like, yeah, that was awesome. Because, like, I'm like, on Atomic Blonde. Deadpool 2 was fine for what it is. Hobbs and Shaw, I'm not really a fan of.
Right, and this felt like a bunch of these movies we've gotten last year, like Gunpowder Milkshake or Kate, where you're trying too hard to be cool, and you're not. It's fine. Like it tried to be too stylized. It tried to world build without any of the fucking nuance or subtlety of like even John Wick, right?
Well, my thing is, too, is David Leitch got to cut it with the fucking cameos. Like, he's driving me nuts with the cameos. Between Deadpool 2, now Hobbs and Shaw with all those cameos, and now in this one where I'm like, yo, you're getting too cutesy.
Right.
Like, when the first cameo happened, I was like, all right, that's fine. You know, he's paying it forward.
Right.
Because Brad Pitt did him a solid, right?
Right.
And then the other person pops up, and you're like, oh, okay. And then the other person at the very end pops up. I didn't even know he was in it. I was just like, oh, so I was like, that's the reveal here? I was like, seriously? And I was like, bro, you're a great actor. You don't need to be doing this shit. I would like to give a shout out to Andrew Koji. I'm sorry he keeps getting these shit roles because he's been amazing. He was amazing at Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, and he's really good in this.
It's just
He's wasted. And then the dude who plays his father, another great Japanese actor, because he pops up in a lot of stuff.
They're just in shitty movies.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Like these shitty American movies. Yeah, like you
Because
said,
him and Ken Watanabe should be in everything.
I can't think of what the plot. I know what the plot is, but like, and like, here's my thing. So Bad Bunny, right, got a whole entire fucking movie over his shit in this, right?
And he's only in it for like 5 minutes.
Right? So sorry, spoiler alert.
Same with, we'll just come out and say ZZ Bates, because she's in the trailer. Yeah. Everything you see in the trailer, that's all ZZ Bates has.
Yeah, and
ZZ Beats.
Right, and everything that was Bad Bunny, that's pretty much it too.
Yeah. It's just cameo fest, man. Like, and you know what? When people died, I felt nothing. Like, I was just like,
I could tell Brad Pitt was having fun, so that's cool for him.
Yeah. I mean, but he's like really the only character you're like really invested in. Everybody else, you're just like,
well, maybe the twins. Like
Tangerine, you mean Lemon and Tangerine?
Like maybe,
yeah. But even like when it got to them, I was just like, when it happened to them, I was just like, but then they pulled the reversal, which was stupid. And I was just like, sure. Like when it happened, I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's.
I literally felt nothing.
I was bored.
Like the only time like I wanted something to happen is I was rooting for, because she's such an evil piece of shit, was I wanted Joey King to die using her white privilege. I was like, yo, she gotta die.
Yeah, I was bored.
Yeah,
throughout this.
Yeah,
like, yeah, and it's I've seen it before. I've seen it better.
And it just starts weird because it starts with Andrew Koji and his father's storyline.
Right.
And it's so dramatic and so serious. So when you cut from that to Brad Pitt,
just like sauntering down the fucking alley.
It is a hard, like, 360 in tones. And it was just so jarring where I was just in the theater like, what the fuck?
This movie felt like prequels for every other character's movie.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I think they were trying to world it like, oh, let's give Bad Bunny's character his own movie, his own prequel. Let's give everyone their own prequel. That's what it felt like.
Yeah,
it's all fucking set up.
So many moving parts, man. It's so convoluted. Like I don't know. You've seen it before.
Yeah. Like watch Smoking Aces.
So. You want to talk about Nope?
I want to talk about Nope real quick. I don't give any sort of latitude to Jordan Peele. I think he's a good director, but I don't buy into the hype. I thought that Get Out was competent, and that the hype around a black director actually doing a competent horror film was what propelled him, right?
Yeah, we and you guys so many different opinions.
Right? No, I get it. Like I said, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying the hype around it. I didn't see it. Us, I absolutely hated. You know, I think that was him buying into the hype that was generated as him being the next major horror director, and also being one of the only black horror director out there.
Again, I'm not a big fan of Us, but I disagree with you.
Right, that's fine. But Nope is the movie I wanted him to make. Like, this is me sort of like, okay, I get it now. Like, this is my Jordan Peele movie. This is what gets me on board with him. You know, and everything else was sort of practice for this movie. It's shot beautifully. It's well acted. It's nuanced enough, but not trying to be as obtuse as fucking Us was. Right? I fucking loved this movie. And so if this is now Jordan Peele settling into like his groove, right? I can't wait to see what he comes out with next.
Well, now that this movie's been out for a couple of weeks, we could get into spoilers and stuff. Something I held back on saying that I really love, which was that the alien, which they call Jean Jacket, the UFO is the alien. And I love that, because I would have never thought in a million years. Because to me, I'd just be like, oh, yeah, it's just a ship.
Right.
And then the alien. No, that's the fucking alien.
Like, it's Jaws meets
Close Encounters. Yeah, like I said a few episodes ago, it's literally. This is when people say they want to get to that Spielberg film or that Amblin feel, this is the closest anyone's gotten to making their own Spielberg movie. Right. Just from the way it's shot, the tone of it, The music feels straight from a Spielberg movie.
And even like the little sprinkles of humor, right?
Yeah.
In it. Jordan Peele does Spielberg better than J.J. Abrams, and J.J. Abrams has spent his whole entire cinematic career trying to be Spielberg.
Yeah, because I was watching this and I was like, there's parts of it, like those oneers were so well done with how the camera keeps going up, panning up to the sky and back down to Daniel Kaluuya, and like those are oneers.
Right.
Watching that, I was just like, you know who used to do this really well was M. Night. Like M. Night used to make movies like this when they were good. But the thing that makes it different between M. Night and Jordan Peele is by the time you get to the third act in M. Night's movies, when we all still ran to see his movies, by the third act, you kind of lost me or it went off the rails. This never goes off the rails and it never loses me.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. Like, I can't talk enough about how much I love this movie. I'm not taking back everything that I've said about Jordan Peele's other efforts, but now I'm seeing that he is a master filmmaker. It's just this is the movie that made me see that he was a master filmmaker.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I will say the social commentary here is done much better than in Us, because the social commentary right now talks about us right now, which is, you know, through social media, through news, through the movies we watch, how we're all just addicted to shit show spectacles.
Right.
Just things get big and just watching people crash and burn. And that's really the social commentary he's making here. In addition to the thematic narrative, which is man versus animals, and how we always underestimate animals.
Yeah.
Because it backfires. Like, yo, Daniel Kaluuya tries telling these motherfuckers millions of times, like, yo, listen, it's different. This is not how you... And that goes with Jupe, too, because Jupe is an asshole, and just because he survived something horrific, he thinks he's untouchable.
Right.
Which ends up being his downfall.
This is why, you know, fucking eventually everybody's white tiger fucking slashes him in the fucking face.
They bring that up. Bring that up. Siegfried and Roy. Listen, there's sometimes some animals cannot be tamed.
Right. A shark's going to be a shark.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So it's animal instincts, and the only person who understood that was Daniel Kaluuya. Because he's a horse trainer. Yeah.
And, you know, dolphins, you may think dolphins are cute, but
so they bite their dick off.
Dolphins are straight murderers and the rapists of the sea. Look it up.
Yeah.
Google it.
All right, and that's episode 55.
We're the Film Blurs.
I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs Podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFire XL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.